Okay na.
Nagre-record na?
Hmm.
Okay, okay, okay. Good evening, everyone. We are the last group, the group 7, that we will be discussing the guidance for assessing a portfolio. So these are my group mates, Ms. Shane Torres, Mr. Janvic Barry, and Mr. Jericho Gabriel de la Cruz. So what is portfolio? In its simplest form, a portfolio is a collection of objects. The object including terms artifacts may be written, physical, digital, or artistic, or any combination. There are many definitions of portfolio, but in the simplest form, a portfolio is a collection of objects. The objects include term artifacts may be written, physical, digital, or artistic, or any combination. If I'm not mistaken, it was good to discuss the different types of portfolio, and these are documentation, process, showcase, and hybrid portfolio. Portfolios provide a way for students to collect and organize items that might otherwise become muddled or lost. They encourage students to reflect on their own learning journey over many months or years. The portfolio can be used to support application for further study or employment. One of the advantages of a portfolio is help niya i-organize yung mga tasks or collection of activities ng isang student, and parang prevent na din yung pagkawala ng ibang papers kasi nga if kulang yung papers mo, then may effect yun sa outcome or magiging grade mo. So parang nagiging mas responsible yung mga student na i-keep yung paper nila. Also, this portfolio serves as the learning journey of the student. Dito nila pwedeng makita yung improvement or strengths and weaknesses nila, ganun din ng teacher. Since this is a collection nga ng objects, ito ay inabot ng ilang weeks or months bago ipapasa. And this portfolio ay pwede rin magamit sa future job mo or ibang study mo. Guidelines for assessing portfolio. According to Paulson and Mayer, portfolios offer a way for assessing student learning that is different from traditional methods. Portfolio assessment provides the teacher and students an opportunity to observe students in a broader context, taking risks, developing creative solutions, and learning to make judgment about their own performance. According to these two people, yung portfolio raw ay way more different sa traditional methods ng pag-assess ng student learning. Yung traditional assessment, yung paper and tests that are usually multiple choice, fill in the blank, matching type, true or false, etc. And this portfolio ay mas nagpo-provide the opportunity to both student and teacher to observe the student's learning in a broader context nga. And dito yung nagme-make judge sila sa kanilang own performance, natatrack nila yung progress nila na need pa ng improvement and create a solution to that. So there are three procedures here. First one is select categories that will allow you to meet the purpose of the portfolio. The category or criteria is usually given or used by the rubric. They must form all of the central elements that must be there for the student's work or performance to be of high quality. Sa pag-assess ng portfolio, dito na papasok yung criteria or rubrics. The rubrics will give hindi, the rubrics you will give is based sa kung anong type ng portfolio yung ginamit nyo, and since yung rubrics yung nagsiserve na as guidance ng student, lahat ng gusto mong ma-meet or ina-expect mo sa portfolio nila ay dapat mong i-include sa gagawin mong rubrics. The second one, show improvement in the portfolio. Progress needs to see the portfolio at the end, not the upside down, fold it at the end. This is why we are here as teachers to guide students in organizing their portfolios and developing their skills. Yung teacher dapat chine-check yung portfolio ng mga student weekly to see the improvement or yung mga dapat pagawin or ayusin pa. Hindi porket pinapasa ko at the end of the grading or at the end of the term, ay ihintay na lang natin yung time na yun at doon pa lang mag-check ng mga mali at doon pa lang tayo bibigay ng mga feedbacks natin. So the third one, procedure number 3, provide feedback to the student on the procedures they are putting together. Giving guiding feedback helps to further improve the task, and the student will appreciate that their effort is valued by teacher and for them to know that you are leading their work. Sa pagbibigay ng feedback, you must be clear and concise for the students to understand what you are trying to say and not bring confusion to them. Thus, they will value your comments knowing you are checking their work thoroughly. Example, we give feedback or in-repeat mo yung isang portfolio ng student, then may nakita kang mali. Ang gagawin mo ay hindi lang basta bibigyan ng grade or sasabihin mali sila. Anong gagawin mo? Instead, you will tell to the student kung bakit sila mali, saan sila mali, at kung paano yung gagawin nila or paano pa nila may improve yun. If tama naman, or sa strength ng student, you tell them that they are very good, parang plus ipapakita mo pa rin na na-appreciate mo sila na they did a good job. Or ibibigyan mo pa sila ng advice kung paano nila mapapanatili yun or may improve pa sa mga susunod na panahon. So, that's how you give feedback. For the continuation of this report, may I call Mr. John Rick Barry. Thank you.
So, good evening, Sir Marlon. So, to continue the discussion, the portfolio must include the following, no? So, una po dyan is yung thoughtfulness. This shows the comprehension, cognitive reflection, and productive habits of mind. So, thoughtfulness, meaning, yung student is focused. Dapat makikita mo dun kung gaano ka-clear yung ginawa niya. Kasi, sa paggawa ng portfolio, meron siyang in-achieve na goal. So, dapat makikita mo yung focusness ng student kung gaano linaw kung nabigay mo yung mga important components ng isang portfolio, yung bawat parts, kung gaano ka-productive yung isip niya sa paggawa ng portfolio, yung procedure na ginawa niya, dapat makikita doon. Ayun yung, kasi nga focus ka. And of course, as an assessor, no, syempre, yung, dapat maghanap rin tayo ng ways kung paano natin ma-assess yung portfolio ng student natin. And dito nga, no, ayun yung thoughtfulness. Dapat, as an assessor as well, dapat focus din tayo. Hindi lang yung students. Hindi kasi sa pag-guide, importante na focus tayo. Yung, kung tayo yung nagbigay ng gagawin nila, dapat alam din natin kung paano natin siya i-assess from the beginning until the end, no? So, next is yung growth and development in relationship to key curriculum, expectancies, and indicators. So, dito naman, this shows if the work of the student is connected siya sa specific na subject. No? Siyempre, as a student, hindi ka naman gagawa ng isang portfolio na hindi connected sa isang subject or sa subject mo. Dito, ayun, yung teacher mo is may ine-expect na goal na dapat mong ma-achieve at dapat may ine-expect siya and yung expectation na yun dapat ma-meet ng assessor or ng teacher. No? Kasi ayun yung goal niya na makita makita yung growth ng student and yung development niya sa paggawa ng portfolio na yun. And doon, mas madali na ma-assess ng isang assessor dahil once na makita nilang na-connected yung content, no, ng portfolio, mas madali niyang ma-assess yung portfolio and yung student as well. And third is understanding and application of key processes. So, dito is yung hindi siya sa talino, bagkus yung sa focus uli ng student. No? Yung reflection niya, kung paano niya in-internalize yung bawat process. Kasi sa process, merong progress, di ba? So dito yung reflection niya simula sa paggawa from the beginning, yung bawat tools sa kanya ng assessor niya, kung paano niya tinitake or ina-absorb yung bawat knowledge na natitake niya, and nilalagay niya yun sa portfolio niya. And by that, mas madali ring ma-assess ng assessor yung portfolio ng bata or ng student. So next is yung completeness, correctness, and appropriateness of products and processes presented in the portfolio. So dito alam naman natin kung gaano pa-importante na kompleto, malinaw yung portfolio. Kasi hindi naman tayo pwedeng mag-check ng kulang-kulang or mali-mali or nakitaan natin na, uy, kulang to ng isang element of components, gano'n. So, dito dapat hindi siya vague. Kasi ang hinahanap sa isang portfolio, yung validity, dapat valid siya, no? And dapat useful. Hindi lang siya magagamit mo ngayon. Dapat magagamit mo siya ng pangmatagalan. Kasi simula pa lang sa paggawa, meron na siyang clear goal na dapat ma-achieve. And that clear goal is kailangan maging useful siya. Hindi mo lang siya magagamit once. But of course, magagamit din siya ng ibang ibang gawa ng portfolio. Pwede siyang gawing guide din, no? Ayun yung maganda sa portfolio na pwede na siyang gawing guide. Hindi lang yung ikaw lang mismo gagawa, but also yung magagawa mong portfolio, yung result na makuha mo doon is pwede na siyang gawing guide ng iba pang gagawa ng portfolio. So last is diversity of entry. So dito napapasok yung iba't iba, like kung gaano ka creative, productive yung student, no? This includes on how the students present information. Yun na nga, information kung paano nila trainees yung nilagay, kung paano sila gumamit ng iba't ibang format, kung paano nila demonstrate about information, kahit ano pang portfolio yan, kung ano yung mga ginamit nilang examples, evidences na nag-gather nila, kung sunod-sunod ba yan, pasok sa criteria mo, kung nakakategory ba yan, and yan, kung yung as an assessor, kung na-meet mo ba yung ina-expect mo, kung na-achieve mo ba, na-achieve din ng student yung gusto mong ipagawa. And kung paano nila sinuport yung portfolio nila para lang maibigay or maipresent yung portfolio nila. So, yun na nga sabi ko, dito, dahil ng diversity, papasok na yan yung pagiging creative. No? So, pwede sila gumamit ng multiple formats. And by that, mas madali mo rin ma-access dahil may iba't iba yung ginamit niya. And so, ayun. To continue the discussion, may I call the next reporter, Mr. Jericho. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, especially to our Professor Sir Marlon Turtur. For sa assessment tools po, we have self-peer assessment with rating scales. A rating scales incorporates quality to the elements in the process of product, which can be numeric or descriptive. Unlike checklist, rating scales allow for the attaching quality to elements in the process or product. Dito po pumapasok yung mga paggawa po natin ng rubrics, mapa-holistic man po or analytic. Dito rin po tayo nagdedepende upang makapagbigay tayo ng information about sa kanilang mga achievement po na nakuha po when it comes to the activity na binigay po nating mga assessor po sa ating mga candidates. And next po, checklist with criteria such as clear presentation, relevant vocabulary, correct spelling or pronunciation, depending on the task. Dito naman po magsiset tayo orderly ng mga ating mga pwedeng ma-assess kunyari po sa sayaw, yun po dapat may mga checklist po tayo na nakaset aside para mag-guide din po sa paggawa ng mga ating mga candidates. And pangatlo po, teacher and peer observation. Classroom observation are frequently used to give instructors constructive criticism aimed to improving their classroom management and teaching skills. These observations are typically undertaken by fellow teachers, administrators, or instructional experts. Dito naman po sa peer observation, dito na po pumapasok yung ating mga teachers po and heads. And next po, learning log. Learning logs are used for student reflection, shows on the material they are learning. Dito naman po pumapasok yung pagkakaroon ng opportunity ng mga estudyante na makagawa ng sarili nilang works through their knowledge and upang masagot po yung mga unanswered questions sa kanilang mga isipan. And number 5 po, answer key. Yung sa example po ng mga answer key na pwede nating magamit or makuha po, ay yung mapagkukunan po natin ng mga answer keys ay sa mga textbook, sections of textbook, website, etc. that provides the solution to mathematical problem po. And for the last po, guided reflection on the task. Guided reflection on the task, guided process of exploration and clarification of values discovered by a service learning experience is called reflection. Student and instructors can express ideas, theories, and sentiments that arise as a result of the serving learning experience through reflections. For the next discussion po, may I call Ma'am Shane Torres. Thank you po.
Thank you, Mr. Jericho. Self-reflective guidelines and scoring. Establish guidelines for student self-reflection and the scoring criteria. Scoring guidelines are explained to the student before they begin instruction. So, bago po magsimula o bago ibigay yung instruction, kailangan mo nang sabihin o explain ng teacher yung scoring criteria. Kasi po napaka-importante na ma-determine natin yung criteria sa pag-assess ng portfolio kasi inaalaw nito yung mga students na malaman nila yung dapat nilang gawin para makonsider yung portfolio nila as high quality. At para magkaroon ng talakayan sa pagitan ng guro at estudyante patungkol sa quality ng gagawin nila. So, the main philosophy embedded in portfolio assessment is shared and active assessment. The teacher should have short individual meeting with each student in which progress is discussed and goals are set for a future meeting. So, the main philosophy nga po yun. Sa paggawa ng portfolio, napakahalaga ng share and active assessment. Kasi ito yung oras na magkakaroon ng pagkakataon yung teacher and student na makapag-usap at matalakay yung about sa portfolio and to keep the goal in mind when choosing topics for future meetings. So, at sa pamamagitan nitong student and teacher conference, nagpe-play ito ng important role sa formative evaluation ng student's progress at sa mga susunod na panahon, pwede din gamitin ng student yung portfolio nila to negotiate their grade using evidence of achievements according sa napag-usapang goals. And by this, malalaman yung strength and weaknesses ng student in presenting their portfolio. One of the most significant aspects of portfolio assessment is its collaborative approach in which students and teachers work together to identify especially to significant or important artifacts and process to be captured in portfolio. So, yung collaborative approach po ay isa sa most significant aspect sa portfolio assessment. Kasi dito yung oras na nag-work together yung teacher at student sa pag-identify sa mga important artifacts and process sa paggawa ng portfolio o sa pagkukunan ng paggawa ng portfolio. So, sa paggawa po ng portfolio, nagbibigay daan yung para maipakita ng mag-aaral o ma-reflect yung real performance at yung maipakita yung weak and strong domain nila. Well, na-observe naman ng teacher yung progress ng student sa learning process and to encourage yung student nila to take responsibilities for their own learning. Nagkakaroon ng oras yung student and teacher to work together para magawang ayos yung need nilang tapusin yung portfolio. So, next slide, please. For documentation portfolio, work immersion, OJT analytic rubric, criteria, structure, 4 for 1 to 5 points. Sentence are fully written. There are numerous incorrect word choices and errors in grammar, punctuation, and spelling. Satisfactory, 6 to 10 points. Sentences are usually well written. There are few incorrect word choices and errors in grammar, punctuation, and spelling. For good, 11 to 15 points. Sentences are generally well written. There are no incorrect word choices and errors in grammar, punctuation, and spelling. For exceptional, 16 to 20 points. Sentences are well written. there are no incorrect word choices, and the text is free of errors in grammar, punctuation, and spelling. For organization, the for 1 to 5 points, the portfolio of the student is not organized and has a lot of dirt on it. Satisfactory, 6 to 10 points. The portfolio of the student is not that organized and somehow clean. For good, 11 to 15 points. The portfolio of the student is somehow organized and somehow clean. For exceptional, 16 to 20 points. The portfolio of the student is well organized. The paper is in chronological order and is neat. For design, for poor, 1 to 5 points, didn't show any effort and creativity. For satisfactory, 6 to 10 points. A good work using a simple design and make an creative output. For good, 11 to 15 points. A very good work using attractive design and make a creative output. For exceptional, 16 to 20 points. Excellence work using attractive design and make a very creative output. For 4, 1 to 5 points. For professional development, for 4, 1 to 5 points. Taking little initiative or interesting in developing a professional plan from the work immersion experience. For satisfactory, 6 to 10 points. Is motivated to learn more about the field but has not made yet connection with the professional goals. For good, 11 to 15 points, has awareness of personal strength, interest, and fit with professional goals, knowledge of opportunities within field. For exceptional, 16 to 20 points, has awareness of personal strength, interest, and fit with professional goals, knowledge of opportunities with field, create network, and building resume to achieve goals. For submission, for 1 to 5 points, the student did not submit a portfolio. For satisfactory, 6 to 10 points, the students submit their portfolio 1 day or more after the due date. For good, 11 to 15 points, the students submit their portfolio on the due date. For exceptional, 16 to 20 points, the students submit their portfolio before the due date. Next. So, showcase analytic rubric based from the internet, visual art journal progress report, exploring skills, techniques, and processes. Example of journal content, documentation of process, experiments with materials, media, and technology, observational drawings, preliminary studies and plans, photographic contact sheets and test prints, computer screenshots, for investigation and making connection. Responses to artists and their work, detailed evaluation and critical analysis of an artwork, transcription or using the style or technique of an artist, making connection between an artist and your own work, responses to exhibition visits. For ideas and intentions, concept mapping of ideas and themes, considering how meaning is communicated through choices of imaginary materials, reworking an idea using different techniques, self-reflection, work in progress. For personal reflections, example of journal content, concept mapping of ideas and themes, considering how meaning is communicated through choices of imaginary sorry. For personal reflection, evaluation of art, practices and art making experience, challenges, phases, and obstacles overcome, record of valuable feedback received in class. For presentation and art vocabulary, balance of text and visual writing strategy. Layout is considered, language is appropriate, art terminologies is used, artist name and movements are spelled correctly. Thank you. For the next discussion, may I call the next discussant?
For the holistic rubric in creative writing for process portfolio, we have sa description, the student portfolio is arranged in chronological order and activities are completed. The student made no mistake in grammar and the work is unique. For the score, 16 to 20. The student portfolio is somehow arranged orderly and one activity is missing. The student made one mistake in the grammar and the work is unique. Score 11 to 15. The student portfolio is not arranged chronologically and 2 to 3 activities are missing. The student made 2 to 3 mistakes in grammar and some of the works are not unique. Score 6 to 10. The student portfolio is not in chronological order and 3 or more activities are missing. The student made 3 or more mistakes in grammar and all of his or her work is not unique. Score 0 to 5. For the next discussion, may I call? Thank you po.
Thank you, Sir Jericho. And also for the hybrid rubric, no, using holistic rubric. So for the gradation, we have scores 16 to 20, excellent, 11 to 15, proficient, 6 to 10, satisfactory, and 1 to 5, which is the beginning. So for the description, under excellent, 16 to 20 points, we have students devote a lot
Oo
of
nga.
time creating their portfolio.
Wait lang, gag.
Content, wonderful, explanation is
Eto.
detailed and clear.
Inok po
And
muna.
work,
Wait lang, Ben. Tapos na to.
in a neat and organized fashion that is easy to read. So next for the proficient 11 to 15 points. So students devote sufficient time and effort creating their portfolio, work hard to get the job done. The explanation is clear and the work is presented in a neat and organized fashion that is usually easy to read. So for the next satisfactory, 6 to 10 points. So student devotes some time and effort creating their portfolio. Works hard but does not enough to get by. So some of the explanation is unclear but includes significant components and the work is presented in an organized fashion but hard to read at times. And lastly, beginning 1 to 5 points. Student devotes a little time creating their portfolio, doesn't seem to appear during the process. The explanation is difficult to understand, and some significant components are not included, and the work is presented in a sloppy, unorganized fashion that is hard to read. So, and that's for the hybrid portfolio. Thank you.
And this is our reference for our report book. That's it for our discussion for in guidelines for assessing a portfolio, and we provided a rubric for each type of portfolio, and we use analytic and holistic rubrics for it. You can check this thoroughly in our Google Classroom so that mas makikita nyo pa kung paano namin ginawa or binigyang example yung bawat type na pinresent ng Group 2. Okay na yan.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.